Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to talk about EDC Orlando. I'm going to provide some tips for first time attendees as well as review my personal lineup for each of the days. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video when I compare this year's general admission wristband to this year's Las Vegas general admission wristband. This will be my third time attending EDC Orlando, my first time being in 2018 when the festival was 2 days, my second time being in 2019 when it expanded into 3 days. Which, quite honestly, I was really glad it expanded into 3 days because 2 days didn't feel like enough. And then I was not anticipating like how sore and tired I was going to be. But you know, that's a 3-day festival because, you know, by the second day you're like, yeah, I can go another day. And then the actual day comes and you're like, well, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I did not return for the 2021 edition because I was still in school and I could not take the time off from my internship. I really wish I could have went because I heard that was a really fun year last year. It was the first year that they brought the mega structure for Neon Gardens to Florida, which it actually freaking needs because there's no way that like they could do Neon Gardens the way they did it in Vegas at Florida because they need a covered structure. Like, it rains. And we're going to talk about the weather here in a few minutes, so stay tuned for that as well. Like I said, for this event, I'm doing general admission. I've only ever done general admission for EDC Orlando. I've never done GA+. I've never done VIP. Honestly, as a guy, I don't see it being worth it for me other than, like, having the restrooms or you know, whatever the little, I think there might be food perks. I'm not sure if there's drink perks, the little lounge areas and stuff. Honestly, I'm not there for that. Like, I'm just gonna say right now, bougie on that end. And I would rather be out in the rest with everyone else having fun, in my opinion. I don't want to be secluded off to like myself in that aspect. Honestly, if I was to ever do anything, I'd probably do GA+ for most festivals just for the little slightly elevated experience of like the better bathrooms, but we'll also talk about restrooms and that stance later on in this video when we get to it, because I do have some notes about the porta potties for most festivals and there's some stuff you guys are gonna want to pay attention to. Wipe your ass. First thing you're going to want for any festival is high fidelity earplugs. These not only allow your ears to be able to hear things and the quality that is going on around you. You all have been to festivals before, and if this is your first time, the music gets very loud, especially if you like to ride the rail. We want to be able to continue to still partying and still hearing the music and the quality that we should be hearing it at. So go ahead and get yourself some high fidelity earplugs. I personally like to use Heroes. I've used these ones probably since 2018, and I've got them off Amazon. They're non-expensive and they work. I've never lost them. All of the mosh pits I've been in, the bouncing around, you know, that happens, that takes place at festivals, you know, good quality, non-expensive. You don't have to drop a ton of bucks to save your ears, guys. Travel size thing of hand sanitizer or sanitizer wipes with you. It makes getting in and out of the restrooms when you're going a lot easier when you don't have to sit there and wait in line to wash your hands, whether that be in the GA lines, the GA+ lines. You know, they have actual restrooms inside, but sometimes, you know, even those get dirty and backed up, so, you know, just be prepared. An essential festival item is going to be a pashmina. I've got like 3 or 4 of them over there. Also, a bandana. I've got some really cool ones back here. You know, some of them are blacklight reactive. Actually, I think both of those two up there are blacklight reactive. One's a little bit thicker, you know. Just really depends what style you want to go with. I highly recommend those for bebopping through the crowd. You know, they're kind of a staple at festivals. My personal favorite. You'll always see me either with a bandana or one of those seamless sleeves. I got one or two of those that I like to wear. Cover your face moving through crowds so you don't get that whoop cough or that whoop flu. We don't want any of that going on. The next item, a travel pack of wet wipes. If you're doing general admission, these are going to be your best friends for the porta potties. You know, wiping down the handles, maybe if they're dirty, wiping down the toilet seat, just things to make yourself not get sick, because people are really gross. We all hear the stories about bathrooms at festivals, and just don't be those people. Please don't. Also, if you need wipes, I don't know what the protocol is with porta potties and wet wipes for your bum, but do what you need to do. That's what I'm going to say. Another item that, you know, is essential for festivals is going to be your hydration pack. Now, whether that be a lunchbox or any of those other branded anti-theft hydration packs, strongly encourage this. EDC Orlando is notoriously known for people having their stuff stolen. There's lots of phone thieves. There's people pickpocketing left and right. Not to scare you or deter you away from it, just to provide you guys the truth. Like, that is a legit fact. Like, protect yourselves, protect your stuff. It is not fun to have your phone and or your wallet stolen and have no way to get around. Highly recommend sunglasses, because Florida heat is no joke, and you know, your eyes are going to take a beating 3 days in a row of just being out in the sun. Do yourself a favor. Your body will thank you. Don't forget your wristband, guys. I know this is stupid, but like, do not forget your wristband. If you do, you will have to stand in will call with your ID and get your wristband replaced. Also, don't forget your ID. You can look up on EDC's policies on what they accept as identifications on their website as to what they will accept for presenting to get your wristband given to you on site. So just make sure you follow up with that. All right, let's move on to some tips for attending EDC Orlando. Probably hard for some of you, but every morning before you leave and head to the festival, eat a good breakfast, please. Your body will thank you. You'll be able to dance longer, do whatever is within your dietary confinements, restrictions, whatever. Eat something before you go into the festival. Please eat. Don't know how many times I heard people were like, oh, I only ate a chicken nugget all weekend. And everyone's like, haha, like, I wonder why my body hurts. That's why. Like, come on. Pace yourself. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You do not need to go balls to the wall the entire time. Have fun. Be familiar with the festival map / grounds, which has not been released yet. When it does, I will reshare it on my Instagram as well as on a short. I'll make a little video for it and post it here on my YouTube channel. Be aware of where all your restrooms are at, where all your water tents are at, and where all your med tents are at. You'll never know when you'll see a medical emergency going on in any of these stages or in your surroundings. If someone needs help, just be aware of how you can help them. I think another important thing is to establish meeting points with your crew. I recommend making some kind of list or knowing where your people want to go for the night if you don't have a really large group. If it's just you and a couple friends, it might be easier. But I definitely recommend making a meeting point at each stage so that way you guys kind of know where you would meet each other at if you were there. So just something to think about. When we went to Vegas, we actually made a little note for each day of where we were each wanting to be at, and it was just 2 of us, so it was easier that way. Like, oh well, it's 11:30, like he might be at this stage. I know where our meetup spot is at that stage, so if I go there and he's there, he might be in that area and I might find him. You know, it's something like that. Because, you know, cell phone service is spotty at most festivals at best. If you can get a text message out, like, it's, you know, you're lucky. So just be aware of that. Know your limits with alcohol and other substances, guys. Like, don't be taking substances from people at festivals you don't know. That is a no-no. If you see something sketchy, say something. There are a lot of phone thieves at EDC Orlando. Say excuse me when you're moving through the crowd. I don't care, in some capacity, don't be rude. Like, don't be rude. There's no excuse for it when you step on someone or you step on someone's feet and you just keep moving through the crowd like nothing ever happened. Like, say excuse me. Or do like I did in Las Vegas. I had a little scroll text thing on my phone. I held it up, I said excuse me, and I just moved right through the crowd. People got out of my way. I'm not even joking. That was the best thing that I could think of. People might have earplugs in. I understand that. But some kind of acknowledgement that you are not a trash human being would be a great thing. Fan clackers, please stop. Period. Take breaks. Take breaks. You do not have to dance and be standing up 24/7. Go sit down, get you some water. See if even one of the people could give you a cup of ice at the vendor's place when you get a drink or something. If you get some food, get some food in you. Like, please. Go explore the grounds. There's tons of things to do in between sets. Check out the art cars. Check out Pixel Forest. There's gonna be so many cool things. Like, once the actual map comes out, we'll be able to like dissect it a little bit more of like where we can go and like what there actually is this year, because like I'm sure they're gonna add something new for this year, which is going to be interesting. So we're gonna see how that's gonna go. Also, party responsibly. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Keep Plur alive. Trade candy. Candy is essential. All right, let's talk about the weather. Florida is really known for being unpredictable when it comes to its weather. I strongly suggest that each day of the festival, or even the weeks leading up to the festival, so the week of is probably going to be the most accurate for you, be checking the weather app. If there's even a possibility that it looks like it's going to rain over Orlando on that day, there are some key items you're going to want to bring with you, because there are certain things I wish I had in 2019 when it rained on day one when I was watching Deadmau5 in the pouring rain. First thing you're going to want to pack in your bag, if it even looks like rain, any of the days of EDC Orlando, you're going to want an extra pair of socks, because if your socks get wet, you know, walking around the rest of the day, you're going to get blisters, your feet are going to prune, your feet are going to hurt, your feet might crack. So even if like you can like dry some stuff later on, an extra pair of socks are going to make your feet feel so much better. I would wear, or strongly suggest wearing, comfortable and or closed-toed shoes. Same thing, you want to protect your feet in case the terrain gets a little muddy and you know, you don't have open exposure to the elements just hating on your feet. It will not be good if it starts the first day of the festival where it rains 6 hours or something, or half the festival, and your feet are just torn to shit because you wore sandals. You know, don't do that to yourselves. Another item I would strongly suggest bringing is a small hand towel, so that way you can dry your hands off and or your face off whenever it does stop raining. Same purpose, like, you know, keep your hands happy, especially if they're like waterlogged. You don't want them to like hurt, crack, or any of that stuff. So the next item I would strongly suggest bringing is a poncho or a small jacket. Either one that can like be folded or rolled up and put inside your hydration pack is key. I have a little small, like a little windbreaker that I bring with me in these scenarios. I don't think I've ever really brought a poncho. I might bring one if I have a really nice one, and then I think the last key item that you should bring with you for a day that it might rain at EDC Orlando is a Ziploc bag to put any of your items that shouldn't get wet, i.e. your wallet, or like say a battery pack or anything like that, like electronical devices that aren't waterproof. So that way, like, you have that protection so your stuff isn't ruined. Gone twice now, and twice we've done Ubers and Lyfts there. We've never actually been dropped off in like a drop-off lane or anything that EDC has established. It's always been like you're just kind of dropped off close to the festival when you kind of walk in. I think the one time we actually got really close to it, we were dropped like right next to one of the entrances. I think that was like right next to Circuit Grounds 2019. And it had a little convenience store across the street from it. So we were able to use the restroom there and grab some drinks before we went in. And it only took us maybe about 15-ish minutes to get through security midday. So Premier Parking. This year I am doing Premier Parking. This is my first time doing Premier Parking with EDC Orlando. There is parking spots, I believe, available that you can park in that are EDC spots, but I believe they sell out pretty quickly, and I believe it's like first come first serve basis. And then there's a bunch of parking lots around the festival that you can try to park at, or side streets. I don't really strongly encourage this. We did it one year, I think 2018 when I went, and while it was cheap, it was kind of sketchy at times. Like I didn't feel like my car never got broken into, but I've heard stories of people having their cars broken into in certain lots surrounding the neighborhoods, because some of the neighborhoods are not that great surrounding this festival, and I will say that, so just be careful out walking around at night. There are shuttles that come from home base and Slumberland, so if you're staying there, you automatically get shuttled to and from the festival. I have never stayed at home base or Slumberland. I know that you can also purchase just the admission to Slumberland, which I believe also includes the shuttle pass. I'm not too sure about that. Like I said, I'm not a expert on either of these two locations. I have not stayed there yet or experienced them. And then I also know that there is free shuttles from downtown Orlando areas that you can check that will shuttle you to and from the festival, that are also running on a schedule that EDC Orlando will post. Those get closer to this festival day. All right, let's move on to the lineup for each day. Friday's lineup, I want to see 12th Planet, Alice in Wonderland, Black Tiger Sex Machine, Camel Fat, Ferry Corsten, Giuseppe Ottavani, Jessica Ottafred, Cascades Redux Sunset set. I plan on seeing every sunset set each day. Killscript, Kolsch, Cream, Midnight Tyrannosaurus, Sullivan King, and Zed's Dead. So 14 artists that I want to see on Friday's lineup. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be at mostly Circuit Grounds that day. All right, let's move on to Saturday's lineup. Starting in alphabetical order. Alan Walker, Biscuits, Blunts and Blondes, Claptone, Clooney, Dom Dallas Sunset Set, Getter. I will sit through literally this entire next artist's performance, and I'm super excited that he is bringing this production to EDC Orlando. Green Velvet presents La La Land. Cannot wait. Jay Wara, back-to-back Vanessa. Go see these girls. This is going to be great. John Summit, if you know, you know. Kaiwachi, back-to-back Company. Slander, Sudden Death, Vintage Culture. All right, let's talk about Sunday's lineup. This is a new one for me, and I got recommended that I should see this live set. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, but 9 to the 9th is how I was told it was pronounced. So I'm going to be there for that. Obviously, I can't miss Above and Beyond. Charlotte DeWitt is the queen. I will be rocking out to her in Neon Gardens because that's where her home is. Chris Lake, DJ Snake, Matroda, Moxie, Said the Skies Sunset Set, Trivecta, Wax Motif. It'll be like the third, fourth time I've seen him this year. It's great. Go see his shit. Like, he definitely throws down some great beats. For the first time, I'm finally getting to sit through a Wooly set. I cannot wait. Like, that is like the highlight of my weekend, is seeing Wooly. Zomboy. It is all right, and now the time that you guys have been waiting for. we're going to take a look at what the general admission wristband looks like for EDC Orlando. This year's general admission GA wristband is this color. I like this logo a lot better than I liked the one for Vegas, to be, if I'm being honest. It's got more of the stereo bloom design, in my opinion, than Vegas's did for this year. Which is interesting because you would expect to see something like this for Vegas, in my opinion. Although I will say the Vegas one, which looked like this, so just to have like a comparison. I like the purple. Not gonna lie. If you guys really enjoyed this information, please give this video a like and a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe for more content like this. I hope these tips and tricks helped you guys, and stay tuned for my EDC Orlando vlogs coming up in November.